name is Rosamond, and today we will be looking at an English topic, that is the difference between much and many. The difference between much and many. So we are going to start with much. When do we use much? We use much when we are talking about nouns that are uncountable. That is when we use much. For example, when you have water, you cannot count water. You cannot count water, and so you say much water. Then we also have an example like rice. You cannot count rice, and so you say much rice. So what are we saying? We use much for nouns we cannot count. Perfect. And you also have other examples like wine. For example, we say much wine, much soup, because you cannot count all those nouns. That is what we are saying. And now let's look at many. When do we use many? We use many when talking about nouns that we can count. That is when we use many. Now look at this. You have an egg. That's an egg. We can count egg. We can say one egg, two egg, one egg, two eggs, three eggs, four eggs. And because we can count eggs, we say many eggs. So what are we saying? We use many for nouns we can count. So that is the difference. And now let's look at another example. Okay, we have a cat. We have a cat here. We can say many cats because we can count cats. We have one cat, two cats, three cats, four cats. So we can say many cats. And now, how do you ask a question with these nouns? Let's start with much. You can say, how much water do you want to drink? How much water do you want to drink? So we say, how much water, because we cannot count water. And so we use how much. And when you want to ask a question about nouns that you can count, we say, how many eggs, for example, how many eggs do you want to fry? How many eggs do you want to eat this morning? Because we can count eggs, and so we say how many eggs. So that is the difference between much and many. Okay, and one thing you should know is that we use many for nouns that go with articles. Articles like a, articles like an. For example, we can say an egg. And because we can say an egg, we use many eggs. But when you are talking about water, for example, you cannot say a water. Okay? Because you cannot say a water, you cannot say many water. All right? But in that case, when you want to use another determinant, there is a part of English we call determinant. If you want to use another determinant to define a noun that cannot be counted, you can use some. Some water, some wine, some rice. So in the case of much, you can also use some. I want some water. I want much water. Okay? That is it. So that is how we can differentiate between many and much. And just for a summary, much is used for nouns we cannot count, and many is used for nouns we can count. And now, what is your examples?